Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Sorry, I'm late. I just gotta go. I forgot to get my coffee all warmed up. Give me one moment. I'll be right on after I go get this good coffee um that I made. Hold on, y'all. Give me a moment. All right, all right, y'all. I am here. I am ready. We are good. I got this good coffee, y'all. Finally got it made. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get this good coffee. Make sure it's right. Good coffee. Make sure it was right. But y'all, all right. We hear y'all. Hold on, let me put a little sugar in this coffee. We got to regulate our, we're always regulating sugar levels, people. because I got a bunch of stuff today. It's election day, and we got a bunch of stuff that we got to talk about and spike out about. We're gonna regulate these sugar levels. I hope you took this time while I was getting my coffee together to get your own coffee or whatever it is you need to get your sugar levels regulated. But we are here because it's a special day, election day, and because Maggie Quintessential told me she gonna have me on one of her computers. I said, let me get a little spiffy for the people, get more reportery, have me on a little tie that's a little unkempt. You got to have a little loose tie, you know, like you being real reportery and look at all journalistic and stuff. So got a little collar shirt and got a little tie. Got a little spiff it up for y'all. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, 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 hey. What's good? What up? What up? What up? What's good? Good morning. Hey, everybody in the chat. Hey, Diamond Pearl. Hey, Quintessential. Hey, China White. Tracy. Um, Jay Thomas. By the way, Yana. Vonda. Y'all up in here today. Hey, Tabitha. Hey, everybody. Hey, Volvo. What's good, everybody? I'm glad to see y'all. I look like a high schooler. We're so many years removed from that place. But let me stir up this good coffee. I might have made it. And you know how when you get your coffee, right? And if you put it too high, you gotta kind of hold it the right way. Otherwise, you might spill it, and you don't want to spill no coffee. Mhm. That you don't want to do. So, oh, that's good coffee. The coffee is extra good. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do some good coffee. So y'all, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know one of these stories today is gonna make me lose my whole goddamn mind. Turn around for the photo looking like a. I'm not doing this with you. Oh man, come on, looking like high school picture day. No, if it was high school picture day, I would have it all the way up. I would have like a blazer or something on. Should I, do it all the way up, put on the blazer? I got like a dark blue blazer I could put on to go with it, y'all. Y'all want me to get really all spiffy up for y'all? Like the old people say, gussied up. All right, I got y'all. Put on the blue blazer. Gonna have the contrast of the dark blue, the navy blue with the light blue. Listen, I got y'all. We gonna be all, journalistic, reportery. Not even a word. All right, y'all. Here we go. Is that better? With the blue blazer. Oh, there we go. There. That better? Ooh. Hey. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. 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 Old school. Old school. No. We do that when we take pictures. You do the regular yo, then you do the old school yo, old school, old school. Oh man, so what's going on, y'all? I'm looking at our reportery. All right, I gotta do my CNN since we gonna be serious. I'm gonna try not to spike out today too much. 2 5 by 7s and 8 by 10, please. All right, I got y'all. I don't know who looking. You know what I'm saying? I told Quintessential she gonna have me on the big screen. My future boo might be on, watching on screen. So I gotta be ready in case they see me. I don't want them to see me that first time in a bad place. Even though I'm not opposed to seeing somebody looking rough the first time, because that means that they might, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's rough. Oh, okay, I would love to see when they get nice, because then that means they're gonna look extra good. Don't do that. Don't do that, Dommy. Do not do that. You're gonna get quintessential all happy. Do not say I look like nobody's blue nothing. Mm. So what's good, people? What is up? We got a lot to talk about this morning, y'all. Mm, that's some good coffee, yeah. All right. So let's get down to these stories, y'all. Welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome to the politics of it all, where we discuss all things politics, but we discuss them our way. Cause I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackety black, and I'm black, y'all. We do not have guests today. I'm looking nice, Tabitha, because Quintessential works down there to the good hospital. She worked down there around doctors. And she said, I'm gonna be working, but I'm having you on one of my screens. So I said, well, let me get all spirit up because my future boo, my future spouse might see me on this good screen. And I need to be all, jazzied up, or as the old people say, gussied up for, my future boo who might be you know, looking for me. Hi, hey boo. Who might see me on screen? I'd be like, oh, who's that? And I'd be like, oh, I'm El Teddy. Anyway, so y'all, let me get down to this stuff. We got a lot to discuss and a lot to town about. We're gonna do that with fervency and zeal. We discuss all things black in politics and how it concerns us. Why? Because I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackety black, and I'm black, y'all. And so let me get my agenda ready. So a lot of things happened over the weekend. A lot of things happened yesterday. Every Some of this stuff that happened yesterday really, really, really pissed me off. So I'm gonna have a whole spike. Wait, oh, new snacks. Well, not new snacks. Old snacks that came back. Y'all, I told y'all we gonna have a good day today. Why are we gonna have a good day today? Because my snacks came back, y'all. Which snacks? I'm glad you asked. Ciao, y'all, ciao. It is now that Halloween is over. They break out all of the Christmas snacks. Now I'm still waiting for my Christmas tree cakes. Y'all know I'm a diehard Little Debbie snack cakes, Christmas tree cakes fan. Y'all know I'm gonna buy at least a few cases of those before it's all over. Y'all know how I do with them. But guess what's back? Remember these from last year? The pretzel chips with the white chocolate and peppermint? Listen, this is crack in a bag. This is crack in a bag. I didn't think it was gonna be that good. The combination of the pretzel with the salt and the peppermint, because I'm not a really big peppermint guy, but the peppermint with the white chocolate. Listen, please understand. This is my snack of the day. This is gonna get me through. This is how I'm gonna regulate my sugar levels today. I bought like 3 bags. Don't judge me. If y'all want to contribute to the snack fund, the CashApp is there to contribute to the snack fund. Anyway, y'all, I highly recommend them. Y'all know I recommend snacks. Y'all know I'll never let y'all down with snacks. This is what you need. Listen. Don't say I did not warn you. Found them at Publix. I think you can get them at Walgreens too. Wherever they sell the little pretzel chips or whatever. Because I'm a big pretzel chip guy, but child. Wherever your local grocery store, wherever you find the pretzel chips, they should have but they only have this seasonal. They also have a dark chocolate one with the peppermint, and I ain't tried that because I'm not a big dark chocolate fan. Like I'm not a fan of dark chocolate, so I ain't tried that one. I only have the white chocolate, but if you're a fan of dark chocolate, you might like that one too. Um, so hey Dee hey Dee the baddest, not baddest, bestest. Oh child. Shit. Anyway, so I'm trying to see where to start. Which is going to be which is not which story is going to be least likely to get my sugar levels spiking early this morning. Okay, so much it's so much rampant sugar diabetes all over these yet to be United States of America. I don't even know where to go. You know what? I'll start with some news that's in the some stuff that's in the news. Now, yesterday, my wonderful sister, my native Miami sister, Tabitha, reported on her Instagram and on her TikTok and on her YouTube page. Shouts out to Tabitha. Y'all go subscribe to her and follow her. Great YouTuber, great social influencer. She talked about this situation. Hey, Shawan Rose, about the Southwest airline pilot and some things, some insidious things that he was saying. So we narrowed it down to either he said, let's go Braves or let's go Brandon. And so I had a couple friends that I spoke to about it, and they had no idea what let's go Brandon was. They were like, what are you talking about? And they were like, well, what's wrong with let's go Brandon? And I was like, you don't know what that phrase is and where it comes from. And so I took for granted that everybody is vested into the political sphere and the political part of Twitter and stuff like that, like I am. Um, and so I mean, if you at this point don't have multiple Twitter accounts, the problem is you. You got to have Twitter accounts for all your personalities. I got my Twitter account, for my channel, but then I have a political Twitter account that goes real heavy into some way progressive stuff. I got my education Twitter account. I have my personal Twitter account. I got the free Twitter account. Everybody got a free Twitter. Don't tell nobody, but everybody got that secret free Twitter account that is that is closed and private. And so I got all of those different Twitters. So it gives me different, you know, vantage points of different things. So I knew what the Let's Go Brandon was. So I said, let me start today by informing people of what this Let's Go Brandon is and why why it has become a calling card and a staple and a chant for white supremacists and the MAGA people. Okay. Child, brace yourself, Tracy. Brace yourself. Well, thank you, Shawan. I am looking quite dapper today, if I do say so myself. Y'all got some prospects out there for me. Have them look at it. Holler at your boy. Y'all got any prospects out there for me as I sip on this good coffee? Y'all, let me get serious. Anyway, so now, where did Let's Go Brandon come from? Let's Go Brandon came from NASCAR. There was a race at Talladega Speedway in Alabama, in Talladega, Alabama. Hey, little baby. And what happened is there was a driver who won by the name of Brandon Brown. He's a white guy. And let me remove Brandon Brown from this. Brandon Brown, unfortunately, didn't start this, had nothing to do with this happening, but it's surrounding him. He was being interviewed by an NBC reporter. I forgot it was a female reporter. I don't remember her name. It's of no consequence at this point. So these white supremacists and hate mongers that frequent NASCAR games were in the stands. And while they were, I'm going to see if I can get the audio. I'm not going to play the video because y'all know how YouTube do me with videos. Y'all know YouTube do not see it for me. They love to demonetize my stuff if I play the videos. But if I play the audio, they'll let me get by. But the video, child, they love to demonetize my lives. So I'm trying to do better about keeping my lives monetized so I can keep a coin. But Anyway, let me see if I can pull that up. If my computer want to act right today, y'all know how my computer be. But while she was interviewing, while this female reporter was sideline reporter was interviewing um Brandon Brown, who had just won the race down there to Talladega Speedway, these band of merry men, MAGA people, white supremacists, or whatever you want to call them, neo-Nazis, hate mongers, or whatever, they were chanting fuck Joe Biden, clap, 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 clap. Fuck Joe Biden, clap, 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 clap. The reporter, I think she really did understand them, but she knew she was on live television. And instead of saying fuck Joe Biden, she said, oh, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Don't sound like fuck Joe Biden. But that's what the story is, that she was like, oh, let's go, Brandon. And once she made that guffaw by saying that they were saying let's go, Brandon, instead of fuck Joe Biden, then the term or the chant let's go, Brandon turned into the real chant fuck Joe Biden. And so now it's a whole situation. They got shirts. It's a whole thing you will see all over Twitter um, that says let's go, Brandon. Let me let y'all hear it. So y'all, they were doing it down to the Braves game. They were doing it all over the place. Let me hold on. I just had it. Oh, here it is right here. When Donald Trump went to the Braves game, they were doing it there. It's become this mantra for the terrorists, the homegrown domestic terrorists that we have across the fruited plains. Let me let y'all hear this, okay? This is the actual audio from that interview.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh my God.
As you can hear the chants, let's go, Brandon.
Each line didn't stay to one, and everything shifted top to bottom so much.
That is the actual. Now you clearly, they went through the whole thing of being sure to pronunciate and enunciate. Like the diction there for that chat is better than their everyday speak and vernacular down there to the Talladega streets or whatever. I'm sure when they walked out of that NASCAR speedway, track, you couldn't understand a goddamn word they were saying. The southern drawl some of them have. Some of them sound like they're speaking a completely foreign language when you talk to them normally. But they made sure when the cameras were on that you heard them pronunciate and enunciate every syllable of fuck Joe Biden. I mean, you even heard the N on the end of Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. But she gonna say, oh, as you hear them saying, let's go, Brandon. Let me let y'all hear that again. There's no way you can get that from that. Hold on, here you go.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh my God, it was learning how each line didn't stay to one, and everything shifted top to bottom so much.
Now, y'all, I'm about a lot of things, but y'all playing in my face. Do I need to play that one more time? Put a 27 in the chat if I need to play that one more time. Because y'all heard it. Y'all heard it as well as I did. Put a 27 in the chat if y'all need me to play that one more time. But y'all heard it. That's where the let's go Brandon comes from. That's why the let's go Brandon is problematic. Girl, you can clearly hear them. Now, if I wanted to listen, if if I wanted to really be on her side and side, I might say, well, she has the little prompter, the little thing that they have in their ear where people yelling, the producer yelling in their ear, hey, hurry up, you got 3 seconds, hey, chat. Chat. Listen, right before she said, and you can hear them chanting, let's go, Brandon. They got louder and started to speak. I told y'all they started to pronunciate and enunciate better than they ever had in their entire lives. And to be clear, y'all done heard some of these yahoos. I'm gonna play it one last time. This is the last time. Last time. Hold on.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh my God, it was learning how each line didn't stay to one, and everything shifted top to bottom so much.
That is where it came from. So now you have the racists and white supremacists across the fruited plains hashtagging let's go Brandon and chanting let's go Brandon all over the place. So now when you see and hear, that's why, because some people was like, well, what's the problem with let's go Brandon? And they did not know where that came from. So now that you all know, when you see and hear the let's go Brandon, that's the battle cry now of these racists and domestic terrorists and white supremacists, the MAGA people. That's their, that's their war chant now. Dear God. So down there to the Braves game, you had these people disrespecting members of the indigenous community during Indigenous History Month. Okay, when they were doing emulating indigenous people war chants and doing tomahawk chops. And I already talked to y'all about the fact that my beloved alma mater, Florida State University, there's a lot of talk amongst us alumni about there possibly having to be a change even with ours, even though the Seminole Indian tribe has years ago signed off on it and continues to support Florida State and the use of their images and everything. And they did get all of that, but there's a outcry to even change that. But anyway, my point is, when you hear the let's go Brandon, that's what that's about. So that was our ease in today. That's our ease in. I don't have to spike out with that. That is not going to make me lose my mind this morning. There's way too much stuff to make me lose my mind. I am going to go through at some point, probably toward the end, several races today. Today is election day, and I need for you all to be aware of several elections around the country involving Black people that we need to be familiar with. We need to be making sure that we're going out to vote on. And this includes primaries as well as general elections. Okay. Now, and when I do get to that portion, if you know of elections in your areas that involve our people, Black people, put it in the chat. Or it doesn't even just have to be Black people, but it might be elections that concern us as Black people. When we get to that portion, put it in the chat so I can highlight it and read it, and I'll put it up on screen so that we can all be aware and we can be watching these things. The highlight of my night tonight is going to be watching Steve Kornacki up at the big board for MSNBC. Because even though, what's the guy on CNN who be at the big board? King is his last name. The blonde hair guy. King. I can't remember his first name. He all right. But Steve Kornacki is the GOAT of the big board on election day. I just go to see Steve Kornacki because he gives me everything I need. Y'all know he gonna be doped up on all kinds of Red Bull, Monster, 5 Hour Energy. He gonna have on that same white shirt, them same khaki pants, and he gonna get 0 hours of sleep in the next, 3, 4 days. 0 hours of sleep. I think they give him a little cot somewhere in the corner to get like a 2 or 3 minute nap during commercial breaks before they bring him back. Child, girl, y'all know by what today is Tuesday. By Thursday night, child, the bags under his eyes is gonna go all the way down his chin. John King, thank you, Bobo. Child, child. What's your alma mater? Quintessential. What's their mascot? I'm trying to think. I forgot what's. I know you told me at one point what school you go to. Child, I don't know. Hey, Tanya, what's good, boo? Child, right. We like brown Old Navy pants. Child, we love us some Steve Kornacki. Steve Kornacki gonna be doing a goddamn thing tonight. So we'll get to elections and the races that we need to be looking out for a little later toward the end, okay? So now that we got that first story out, now that you all know why Let's Go Brandon is a problem, and you can when you see it, you know what to look for, you know where the problem lies. Um now that's as easy as we're gonna get, okay? The rest of this stuff is going to cause us to spike out. Get over it. It's going to happen. I got my snacks ready for this sugar spike we about to have. So, down to the great state of Alabama, down to the great state of Alabama, they are now considering wiping the arrest records clean for Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. I'm not in favor of this. I'm going to explain why, but let me read to you the article as I have it, okay? Last week, 82-year-old Claudette Colvin asked a court to expunge her records. Now, if you don't know who Claudette Colvin is the OG. She's the original gangster. And she wasn't the first, but she in the city of Montgomery, Alabama, she was one of the earlier people who got arrested for saying, I'm not going to sit in the back of the bus. She was 15 years old, and she, being 15 at the time, said, I'm not moving. I'm tired. I ain't going nowhere. Her name is Claudette Colvin. And and this was several months before Rosa Parks got arrested. And if you want, you can go research. There's a whole thing about why Rosa Parks became the centerpiece and poster child for the Montgomery boycotts instead of Claudette Colvin and some other people. It's a whole. That's where we need to have the room with only Black people. That's where we gonna have a whole family closed door conversation where we can have about that whole situation. Hey, really be. So Claudette Colvin, anyway, I believe it was like 8 or 9 months before Rosa Parks got arrested. She was arrested as well. She's still alive though. And she asked well, she said she had interest in her records being cleared because she didn't want to have an arrest record. Um And so, because she wanted hers cleared, people said, well, yeah, there's a whole lot of people during the civil rights era who were wrongfully arrested and who should have their arrest records cleared. Um, it goes on to say, um, trying to get to all of the parts of the article. Back in 2006, the Rosa Parks Act was passed in Alabama, which set up a process for people charged with nonviolent crimes during the civil rights protests to receive pardons. Even though they ain't really granted pardons. So hey, Patty Duke. So back in 2006, they did pass the Rosa Parks Act, which was an attempt to say people can be pardoned if they were arrested during the civil rights era for nonviolent crimes and so forth. And even though it was what a lot of white people do a lot of times, they will say a lot of stuff and try to make this big press, you know, press publication or whatever, make a nice news story and then never do anything afterwards. Similar to how during after Black Lives Matter last year, all of these corporations said they was going to do all of these things for the media and for press, and they never did a goddamn thing. But um, I am so that's the long and short of. I don't need to go into the gory details of this of why or how or whatever. But let me say this. I am really not a fan of this because to me, white people, as you can see with their attack on what they believe is critical race theory, are really whitewashing the history of America and removing from the history books what they really did. I see this as another attempt at that. While it sounds good to me on the surface, saying, oh, we will expunge the arrest records of great heralded people in the civil rights era like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, what it does for white people is it whitewashes it. It makes it seem so years and years and years from now, after it's expunged, it'll be like, oh, what are you talking about? There's no arrest record for Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King. The people of Montgomery were nothing but nice to them. They applauded them. They were here for them. They celebrated their right to protest and nonviolent civil discourse on the actions of the bus companies back then. And they were peaceful and everything was great. Hey, Chocolate Bay, when you know good and hell well, it was none of that. It was not. Listen, that would be almost to me like you expunging Martin Luther King's arrest record in Birmingham. And one of the greatest pieces of writing in the history of humankind is the letter from the Birmingham jail. Let's be clear. That's one of the greatest pieces of, and I'm talking as an English teacher. Hey, Jason, as an English teacher, one of the greatest pieces of writing, one of the greatest nonfiction literature, pieces of rhetoric. I've done so many rhetorical analyses on that piece of writing is the letter from the Birmingham jail. So if we're going to start expunging and saying, oh, these arrests never happened, let's expunge them. Well, expunge doesn't mean that it never happened. It just seals it and makes it where, oh, okay, we're just going to make it like it didn't happen. And that's what they would want. They want to whitewash history and forgive themselves of their atrocities. That is what this whole attack on CRT is. That is what the whole attack on um, telling the real American history. They want to forgive themselves. They don't want the people who they oppress. They don't want the people who were victims of these atrocities to forgive them. They want to be able to control the narrative. They want to be able to say, yeah, we killed you. Yeah, we lynched you. Yeah, we took you and put you into slavery. And yeah, we wronged you. But you don't get to say that we forgive y'all. Hey, crackhead Willie, you don't get to do any of that. We get to control the narrative. And we get to say that you forgive us. We ain't gonna let y'all forgive us. We're just gonna tell the people that we apologized and y'all forgave us. I had this conversation with a friend last night about a situation I'm going through with some friends where they were saying, well, you should just apologize to the person. And my thing was, if the person told me they're not ready to discuss this and they're not ready for my apology, meaning they're not prepared to even accept my apology. What is me apologizing to them is just to appease myself because they told me they're not hearing it, they're not ready for it. And that's what's going on around the country. They don't want to feel bad. They have their own personal guilt. It's all about them. It's all anthropomorphic because we know as an American society, we are so anthropomorphic. We are so high on the hill. We just can't be stained or tainted, imbrued at all. There's our word of the day, imbrued. We can't be imbrued at all by our history and the legacy of white supremacy that we have in this country. And so they want to do these things. Oh, we're going to expunge the arrest records of Martin Luther King. Now, Claudette Colvin, who is alive and can speak for herself right now, if Claudette Colvin says that she wants that to happen for her, she has that right. That is her arrest record. And if she wants to come out and say that, great. Baby, I support you in what you want to do. But let's be clear. I don't want this. We gonna just start, doing this to everybody. And there's some black people who feel completely different. They are here for the expunging of records. But to me, that gives these white people cover to say that they do nothing. See, what they want to do is they want to protect their own history. They want to create the narrative. And like I said, they want to take all of the control away from us. They don't want any parts of us having any influence on what is said. They want to be able to say, oh, we apologize, and they accept it. We ain't accepted the goddamn thing yet. We still waiting on our goddamn reparations. Let's just be clear. We still waiting to be treated equally in this country. We still waiting for anything to come our way in this country. And you rat ass and bastards don't want to give us nothing. So don't tell us what we are and are not doing. We control that narrative, but they want to take that from us. This is what we got going on, y'all. Y'all know I'm always here to speak truth to power. I am always here to speak truth to power. And these people, I am not in favor of this and that. And there are some great people, great minds that completely disagree. This is just my opinion, my honest opinion. But I'm not here for you expunging records and all of this stuff. Because no, it happened. It happened. You did it. You don't get to now say, oh, no, that didn't happen. No. No. Don't talk about that. No. We ain't gonna tell you that. Shh. No. Martin Luther, we got a whole monument for Martin Luther King in Washington. We gave y'all a whole monument. A big, tall monument down in Washington, D.C. You could go there. Y'all got a whole museum down there that y'all could go visit. No. Shh. No arrest. No, why would we arrest someone who has a whole monument to him in our nation's capital? No, that didn't happen. No, we ain't do that. No. Why no? We ain't do none of that. Let's be clear. All of this talk about, oh, we have to protect the feelings of little white kids all over the country. You know what they're really afraid of? The same thing that their ancestors and forefathers were afraid of. They ain't afraid of the goddamn white kids and their little feeling. Oh, my child's going to feel guilt for being white and the things that we did. They didn't do it, so they're not going to feel guilty. What you're afraid of is that we as black people and the younger generation of black kids are going to do some of what they are doing, which is see, understand, and embrace the totality of the fuck shit and fuckery that went on in this country and see it repeating itself and say, nope, we're not going for that bullshit no more. Nope, we are not going to be not all of our ancestors, because I don't like that narrative either. You know how people write the narrative that no slaves tried to revolt and there was no slave revolution and they just sat there and were, submissive and, to all of this slavery. No, there were a whole lot of black people and a whole lot of slaves at that time that was not here for it, because black people, we are a powerful people. We are the essence of our whole species, and our entire species is always here for the fight. So let's be clear: there were a lot of slaves, and there were a lot of black people in the North and in the South that were not here for all of the things that were going on. The problem is the numbers in some cases were not in their favor. In some cases, but there were some that acquiesced and coalesced to what was going on. They're afraid that we as black people are going to say enough is enough and rise up and say, no, we taking everything. And when I say we taking everything, we're taking our black business, we're taking our black culture, and we're taking it away from you people. Because without black business, without black culture, without black people, there is no American economy, period. That is all. No more to be said. Without us, there is no American economy. Period. End of story. No more to be said. Let me see what y'all got going on in the chat, because y'all over here said a lot in the chat. I ain't even read the chat. I'm going off on my whole rant over here. And y'all having a great time. And let me see what y'all said in the chat. But I'm just being clear about this. They are afraid that as we begin to really edify our um edify people, our children, and the youth of America on how this country really is, on what really did happen, and on the real, and not the stories that you want to give us. The real, speak real truth to power about what happened in the beginning. Real truth to power about what black people have been doing in this country. Tell the full story. Because let's be clear, even the story that's already been told, or the history that they allowed to stay in the history books over the last few hundred years, isn't the full story. They want you to see black people as slaves, because look, you don't hear the Nat Turner stories in the history books. You don't hear the story, the full Phyllis Wheatley story. You don't hear the stories of Prince Hall and his band of merry men. You don't hear a lot of stories of revolts and things that happened in the South. Thank God. What's the name of the Netflix movie? Series, The Harder They Fall, where they're telling the stories of the black cowboys and the real people. They're telling real stories of real people. Even when we had Lovecraft Country, when we started to peel back stories of real black people and real things that happened in this country, we don't get that. Because let's be clear, the current history we have is watered down and whitewashed. And they're trying to eliminate that. I told y'all months ago, I told y'all, we are going to have to take a page out of, take a lesson from our indigenous brothers and sisters. Just like white America whitewashed their whole story. Oh, let me mute myself. Hold on. I had to pull up myself. Just like white people eliminated their whole story, told it from one side, made it like they were the horrible people and savages. That is what they're going to do to us if they haven't already. Y'all are going off in the, let me see what y'all got going on in the chat. Y'all are going on, and I love y'all for it. I'm way behind, way behind. Diamond Pearl Gem says the arrests were symbolic and now historical. Yet people try to erase our history yet again. White people, excuse me. Critical white history is so dangerous. It is. Thank you, Jason. Cracker, what he says, it pisses me off that they go do that. Just how they gonna tell people that Rona caused millions to lose their homes when the people told them not to pay their rent and nothing was gonna happen. You better say it for the people in the back. You better say it for the people in the back, crackhead Willie. They all think it is true because none of them heard the real history. Yep, apologize and change the fabric of American laws. Yep. It's sickening and without proper atonement too. Child, damn ridiculous. It is. Arrest records are never completely expunged. It's just the public cannot see them. Exactly, Patty Duke. The right people can still see them. Tabitha says she want her 40 acres and a mule. They are trying to paint us as hateful racists because we don't want history subverted. Tell you right, and then people from ICE stuff getting their reparations that families are separate. Don't even go down that road with me, crackhead Willie. You see these stuff in the news about them wanting to give immigrants and stuff all of this money and stuff like that to help him out, and we still over here waiting for our reparations. And we'll get here in a second. The amount of money that they are over there throwing around and fighting about in Congress is still more than the amount it would take if they paid black people the reparations they owe them. If they paid every black person the reparations they owed them, it wouldn't even equate to the amount of money that Congress is over there arguing about. It also wouldn't equate to the amount of money we wasted over there in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Y'all done got me. Y'all done got me here. We here now. I'm way behind. I'm just going. Okay, I'm just behind. We here now. I'm just gonna get caught up because I can't even go back. We did talk about the farm bill over here, Jason. Remember, we had a whole we did that on the politics of it all, talking about Joe Biden and how they're not doing anything to protect the stuff that they tried to put in place for the farmers, and now they're just letting the Republicans run roughshod over there and take away all of the money that was intended for the farmers. They letting the Joe Manchins and the Republicans over there do whatever they want over there. So I just wanted to report on, if y'all start to hear about this stuff about, oh, we're going to expunge and blot out the arrest records for great people in American history like Martin. No, we don't want nothing expunged, because if that's the case, expunge, because they're not going to do it. It's going to be selected. It's going to be, oh, but they have to be nonviolent. No, because we needed the violent ones as well. We needed, you know, the Stokeleys and the Malcolms and the Garveys and all of those people that was not, if you buck and say, yeah, because if it had to happen twofold. You had to have people that were on both sides of that whole argument in order for it to be successful. Because you know it's going to be, oh, we're only going to expunge the records of the people we know about. Because if you're going to do that, do you know how many thousands of people were out here getting arrested? How many children? Remember, a large portion of the civil rights era depended on children being arrested. Remember, it became a badge of honor for a lot of those children to go and get arrested. They said, nope, we're not going to school today. We're going out here, we're going to protest, and we're going to get arrested. We know we're going to get arrested. We're here for getting arrested. And if I don't get arrested, I might have a problem. Because that's the whole point. Because they knew in order to move the needle, they needed to get the youth involved. Listen, are you going to expunge all of those records? Because there's so many people. You got a lot of expunging to do. Not explaining to do, expunging to do if you expunge it. And like I said, you don't get to pick and choose then, because there were some people who were violent and needed to be violent at that time because you people were violent against us. That need to have theirs expunged too, if that's what we're doing. This what y'all got going on. This what y'all got going on. Our next story is gonna make me really lose my goddamn mind, which is why I'm glad we're ending on a good note with elections. Because this next story, I'm just gonna lose it all. I just already know that. I'm gonna lose it all. Let me see if I got a story before I get to this next story. Oh, before I get to the story that's just gonna make me completely lose my mind, let me give you this story. Then we'll get to the whole L. Teddy just goes off the deep end and loses his goddamn mind. All right. So this next story involves two black women, beautiful black women, um, on opposite sides of the spectrum with opposing view, both on the Democratic side, but they have opposing views on a very polarizing subject. All right. So today, as you know, is election day, and in addition to there being candidates up for elections in several cities and states around the country, there's also laws, ordinances, and things that people are voting on within their respective cities that don't involve, candidates or whatnot. Hey, Doris. So, in the great state of Minnesota, in the city of Minneapolis, now let's be clear, we know Minneapolis has a problem. We know criminal justice is the problem up there in Minneapolis, okay? They got a big issue up there. We done seen case after case after case after case after case going back to Philando Castile and even before that of what Minneapolis, Minnesota got going on, okay? So, right now, there is um there is a referendum that they're voting on in Indianapolis that is centered around the notion of defunding police. Okay. Um, Let me read this to you. All right. Today, voters will decide the fate of City Question 2, a municipal ballot measure that will replace the Minneapolis Police Department with a new Department of Public Safety under the City Council's control. The debate leading up to the vote shows just how much one idea can take on wildly different meanings. Just like defund the police, question 2 is more than the sum of its parts. Black activists who want to protect their communities from violence look at question 2 and don't always see the same risks and opportunity. The Reverend Janae Bates, Director of Communications for Isaiah, a faith-based nonprofit, advocates that for social nonprofit that advocates for social and economic justice is is working with the nonprofit coalition that got question 2 on the ballot. She's frustrated that Black Minneapolis, oh, this is a word. This is a name title. I'm sorry, it's a whole lot of letters. She's frustrated that Black Minneapolitans, yeah, because that's what they call themselves, Minneapolitans. Wow. Sounds like Neapolitan ice cream. Anyway, Minneapolitans are consolidated into neighborhoods that are underserved and overpoliced and want to see both of those problems change. But Audia Pugh, the board chair of the Jordan Area Community Council, a neighborhood association on the city's predominantly Black North Side, said she saw the city council's announcement back in the summer of 2020 as a betrayal. To her, question 2 amounts to a signal that her neighborhood, long ignored by the city and denied infrastructure common in other parts of town, would lose more and not gain anything new. Since Floyd's death, that's George Floyd, she has successfully sued the city to demand more police and is a fierce advocate against the ballot question. Um, that Bates and Pugh, two black women who share very similar concerns about the dangers posed to their community by both police and criminal gun violence, could end up on opposite sides of a public safety plan, says a lot about the divisiveness of question two and the defund the police movement generally. The question has roughly split the city in half. Major figures on the left, such as Republican such as Representative Ilhan Omar and Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison support question two, which would be to break up the Minneapolis Police Department and create this new department. Major figures of the establishment, such as Jacob Frey and Senator Amy Klobuchar, oppose it. So here's what we got. And this is all on the left. So you got the progressives that say, I'm here for this question too. We got the moderate Dems, the establishment Dems, that are saying we're not here for question two. Now, you notice I'm calling this question two as opposed to saying defund the police, because that term defund the police becomes very divisive, and it's a loaded term. It's a question that makes people choose sides that they're not really choosing, because it's a misnomer. They're not saying defund the police. What they're saying is let's allocate resources appropriately, not defunding it. They're saying, because to defund the police would mean taking all money away from police and not giving them anything. And that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, let's look at the money that we're giving the police and let's, structure it in a way that's going to be more beneficial to the community that they're supposed to serve. Now, let's be clear. I call this defund the police situation. You know what it reminds me of that we have going on right now? The term defund the police is just as divisive and polarizing as a common term you hear in social media right now, which is cancel culture. Because that term cancel culture is a loaded term that's a misnomer. There's no such animal as cancel culture. Nobody ever gets canceled. What happens is people get criticized and called to the carpet when they do things wrong, but nobody's taking money out of anybody's pocket. Nobody's canceling anybody, because these same people who claim to be canceled are still making their money. They're still going about the business of doing it, whatever it is their profession and avocation is, and they're not being canceled. There's not even a thing that you could actually do. People are upset and they want to create this term where they seem like the victim when they're being called to the carpet and being given criticism on things that they have done. And it's the same thing with the police. The police have done things wrong. They are being called to the carpet, and we are pulling back layers and seeing that some of the resources that we have given you people, because let's be clear, this is not your money. This is our money as the public that we have given you through taxpayer dollar, okay? And this money, we want to make sure that you are good stewards with the money with which we have given you. So if we come in there and say, hey, bitch, hey, whore, we want to know that we've given you this money and that you're going to spend it in the right manner. We need to make sure, you put too much money over there. That's not what we need money. Y'all ain't got $0 in mental health, but y'all got all this money in buying tanks. Y'all got all this money in buying weapons damn near of mass destruction, like y'all going down there to Baghdad to wage war against Saddam Hussein. And this is what y'all are using to protect the citizens? No, y'all using this stuff to wage war. Go look at some of the coffers and some of the budgets of police departments. They are spending the lion's share of their money on more and more weapons of mass destruction, as opposed to putting money in training police in how to deal with mental health issues, training people in how to be sensitive to issues surrounding race, bringing people in to help advocate for members of the community that have been wronged. all kinds of things that they could be spending money on, but they don't want to put no money in that. They want to put more money into you having weapons and things that they can use to mow us down and kill us. So that's what we have going on with this question too in Minneapolis. This is going to become a lightning rod because you're going to hear defund police, defund police, defund police. This is not a question of defunding the police. Let's be clear. What question two, and let me say it again, it is a municipal ballot measure that will replace the Minneapolis Police Department with a new Department of Public Safety under the city council's control. There is the problem. The police want full anonymity. They want to be able to say, we could do whatever. They want to have it like they got it over there in North Carolina. We talked about what they got going on in the great state of North Carolina with the police, where now it's against the law for any even elected official to tell the police to stand down or do anything. They want to have complete and autonomy and be able to do whatever they want to do and not have any consequences, which is a problem, a real problem. And so they're going to cloak it as, oh, this is defund police. Just like when I talked about cancel culture, you see a lot of people when they do wrong, they immediately, and the people who support them immediately say, oh, this is cancel culture. This is cancel culture. Oh my God, that's a horrible thing. Because people can hear that and go, oh yeah, that might be horrible for you to just be canceling people. When it's not cancel culture at all, all it is us saying, hey, you did wrong and you need to be called out about it. And we're telling you the things that you've done wrong. There's criticism. And just like I said with the police, we're not saying we're defunding the police. We're saying, hey, there's a problem. It needs to be addressed. Now, the problem is we got these establishment Democrats. Y'all know I already told y'all I'm just progressive. I already know that. But the problem is establishment Democrats are going to be worse for us black people, let's be clear, than the Republicans. And I know that sounds crazy, but let me help you understand why. Here we have the establishment Democrats that have such a chokehold on our community, okay? Such a chokehold on our community that they even have us against each other. You have these two beautiful black women on opposing views. And I'm not saying that black people have to be, a monolith and always think the same, because both of them are concerned about the issues surrounding their community and policing and criminal justice and law enforcement in their communities. However, when you have over and over and over and over instances in this very city of police doing the wrong thing, you have to agree that there's an internal problem with what's going on down there. And when you got people like the Audio Pew, who is saying, oh, well, I want more police here. Why? And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be, people to help with the crime or whatever, but what I am saying is these people have shown that they don't do right by this. Yes, you're going to have some police that's going to do the right thing, but we can see overwhelmingly there are a whole lot of them there that are doing the wrong thing and got too many body counts, okay? Taking too many lives. And one life is one too many. Because people get caught up in numbers. Well, it's just this many. That's too many. Because when it becomes your child, when it becomes your relative, when it becomes your brother, when it becomes your sister, when it becomes your mom, dad, daughter, son, grandma, grandfather, whomever, your relative, that one then becomes too many. And I get upset and angry when people start to use the numbers aren't that big to you. But for someone who it directly involves, a number of one is too many. So let's be clear. I'm here for if you said get rid of the Minneapolis Police Department. There's a problem. And we don't know. And it has clearly been shown that this problem is not going to be fixed in of itself. They want no parts of fixing their own problem. What they want to do is they want to continue to have things as it has always been and continue to kill us and mow us down and not suffer any consequences. Take it all away, start all the way over. It's still going to be a police department. They're just calling it a different name. They're just starting all over, which is what is needed. A clean slate is needed. Start it all over. Tear it all down, build it all the way up. Because when a building when a structure has a weak foundation, and when a structure has been rooted and grounded foundationally on something that's going to cause the building to cripple and fall anyway, shut it down before it cripples and falls. Just tear it down, start all over. Start all over. Sometimes you drawing a picture, you erase one line you did wrong, you erase another line you did wrong, you erase another. After a while, you got more stuff erased than you got of actual stuff. And the problem with erasing is it don't go. Think about when you're drawing something. Even the best erasers don't completely get it all away. There's always remnants there. Tiny little remnants there reminding you, yeah, that was there. Don't forget you messed that up. Don't forget you messed that up. Don't forget you messed that up over there too. You got to see the metaphor here, people. So what you got to do is say, you know what, let me crumple this paper up, throw this mess in the garbage. We're going to start all over again. I'm going to remember my mistakes I made over there. So y'all listen, if you grew up in the right household, let me tell you this. Let me show you how I grew. I grew up in the right household. In my household, my grandmother was a stickler. She would look at our homework. She may not have understood anything about what the assignment was, but she would take that piece of paper, take this paper and give it to little, I don't like your handwriting. That don't even look good. Ball our paper up and throw it in the trash. Start over. She didn't even know what it was about. She would just give it the look and say, yeah, I don't even like your handwriting. That don't even look right. Ball it up and throw it in, start over. And you be done spent your hard money on it. Like what? But what point? I used to be so mad. Y'all don't even understand what I used to have to go through. I used to be so mad. But my point is, when you see and locate that there's a problem, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? It's time to start this all over again. But these establishment Democrats are going to be a problem because they're going to find ways to divide us. They're going to find ways to say, yeah, we can have these black people on totally opposing sides and split them up, not knowing it's counter to their whole agenda. Dems, you splitting the black vote is counter to your whole agenda that you got going on. Listen, I told y'all, and we're about to get to this next story where I'll lose my whole goddamn mind. This next midterm election next year, I can tell you, is about to be a bloodbath. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to look like 2010 all over again. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. It's going to be Let's Go Brandon all over the place. A mess. A mess. A mess. Shouts out to the people who had to endure what I had to endure as a child. Be like, ball that mess up and throw it in the garbage. Nah, that don't even look right. But you ain't even look Brandon. It don't look right. I don't like your hair right. I don't like how, start over. But I just spent the last hour and a half. Start over. That was the one way to ensure that you could stay up late in the house. Two things that will make you be up late in my household, okay? One, be in that church. Be in that church. Your parent, my grandma, you could be up till 2 in the morning. If you was at church, she ain't care. Two, baby, that homework ain't done, or it ain't done to her likeness, and she look like, do that over. You can stay up to 3 in the morning, and you better be up on time for school. Florida ain't gonna boot death sentence. The Dems in Florida, they already started splitting their vote anyway, and I'd be very surprised if death sentence doesn't get reelected because the Dems are going to find a way to mess that up. I know Annette Tadeo just got in the ring for the Democratic primary in Florida, which now is has Chris Chris whatever his name is, Chris Christie, him, Annette Tadeo, and somebody else who I Nikki Freed, who's the those three are the three that are going for that Democratic primary for governor in Florida. And I think to me, I'm probably gonna vote Annette Tadeo, but my problem is they're gonna end up by the time they get through windmilling each other in the primary, death sentence is gonna be done collecting all of this money and it's gonna be ready for war. Okay, child. Um Yeah, China White is going to be a whole bloodbath. I already know that that's what's going on. So if you're in the great state of Minnesota in Minneapolis, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. You vote however you feel, but just make sure you go and vote. That question too is on the ballot today in Minneapolis. I'm gonna try to make sure that I give you all an update on that measure because it could be a blueprint. You know how these places like to be, they like to give you blueprints and that you can use around the country. So I will try to keep you updated on Tabitha. If I'm just giving Tabitha stuff to do, like she ain't got her own stuff to be concerned about. But Tabitha, can you also monitor this for me so we can see how this vote goes in Minneapolis today? Because I might forget and I'll be busy. Anyway, let's we'll try to monitor that and bring you that story because if they can be successful in question two, reforming police as we know it in Minneapolis, that could be a blueprint for other cities around the country. Some of y'all didn't even know that was there. Some people in Minneapolis may not have even know that that question was on the ballot. So let's look. Let's pay attention to question two on the ballot in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Um, shouts out to Ilhan Omar of the squad and Representative Ellison. All right. So I guess I got to get to this story and lose my whole goddamn mind today. So yesterday, this happened yesterday. Let me get this. Let me get this ready for y'all to play. Because I'm about to lose my whole goddamn mind. A whole, my whole goddamn mind. So let me just let y'all hear this. This happened yesterday. Watch it play a commercial. If it play a commercial, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my god. Yep, it's like clockwork. Oh no, it didn't play the commercial.
An infrastructure bill.
Oh, hold
This
on.
bill, for the sake of the country, I urge the House to vote and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Holding this bill hostage is not going to work in getting my support for reconciliation bill. Throughout the last 3 months, I've been straightforward about my concerns that I will not support a reconciliation package that expands social programs and irresponsibly adds to our $29 trillion in national debt that no one seems to really care about or even talk about.
Let me be clear. Who was that? Y'all boy, Joe Manchin. The Democratic terrorists that seems to want to hold Congress hostage. He's damn near a terrorist in the Democratic Party at this point because he's holding the American public hostage. Him and his fellow terrorist Kirsten Sinema. Now this fucktard in the form of Joe Manchin just came out of his mouth and said, "Oh, my see, let me give you the background because some of y'all are not clear on why we're blathering about and going off what is really happening. Because I don't expect everybody to be up to speed on all things politics like I am. Okay, we got two bills here. Okay, we got the infrastructure bill. Okay, and then we got the Build Back Better Act, which is a reconciliation bill. Now, and they're calling this a budget reconciliation because the Build Back Better is being called a budget reconciliation only because they know full well, and we read on our last politics of it all of the things that were going to be kept in the Build Back Better Act, and all of the things that were going to be left out. Check out our last politics of it all to get up to speed on that. But the reason that the Build Back Better Act has to end up being a budget reconciliation as opposed to an actual bill and law that's signed into law is because there are things in there that Republicans want no parts of. Not a single Republican has decided to go and vote on that. And we talked about all of this stuff, and there's some great things. Now, let's be clear. The infrastructure bill is something that can be signed into law because I think we're up to like 19 Republican senators that have said that they will vote on the infrastructure bill. It should be a problem if you have that many Republican senators that is reaching across the aisle for bipartisan support of this. What that means is you're going with this infrastructure bill, you're about to put money in the pockets of a whole lot of major corporations, a whole lot of companies that are lining the pockets of those same Republican senators, a whole lot of organizations, entities, people, and corporations that stand to make billions and billions of dollars based on the contracts that they get for this infrastructure bill that they're trying to put in place. Let's be clear. They ain't trying to give it to minority groups and minority companies. Oh no, they ain't trying to give it to startups. They're giving all of this money to the major corporations, which is who? White people. They're going to line the pockets of rich white people so that they can get richer and richer, and they can continue to line the pockets of these politicians who are also rich. But anyway, that's the infrastructure bill, okay? That's the infrastructure bill, which I think is at what? A little over $3 trillion. The Build Back Better Act, which can't be law because none of the Republicans want any parts of it. They started off with it being 10 billion. Even the same Joe Manchin, who you just fucking heard talking about he don't want to add to the debt, in January of this year was saying that the Build Back Better Act should be $4 trillion. He was in support of $4 trillion. But what happened is when those corporations said, we don't like no parts of that bill, it's too much for the people and not enough for us corporations, it's going to cripple us, it's going to cost us money, so you need to vote no to that. And what did he do? He started to strip it down. He started to say no to this, no to that, no to this, no to that, and now it's down to what, 1 point something trillion? Now here's the problem. They are relying on the progressives because that infrastructure bill that there's bipartisan agreement on passed the Senate. Because you know the Senate is lined with, I'm trying to think, I think we may have one, no, I'm sorry. We got about 5 progressive senators, about 5. Yeah. I'm including some people who I should, but I'm going to say 5. But it didn't matter that those progressive senators wanted no parts of the infrastructure bill for apparent reasons. They had the 19 senators from the other side, all and those establishment Democrats, so they could line their pockets with money that they had gotten from major corporations and conglomerates to get that infrastructure bill passed. It passed the Senate, got down to the House, and the House progressive says, no, bitch, we don't want no parts of that. Unless y'all pass the Bill Better Act in the Senate, we ain't voting on no infrastructure bill. And that's why Nancy Pelosi couldn't put the infrastructure bill on the floor, because the Progressive Caucus said, we're not here for this. If you ain't gonna give us all of these social programs and climate change and social and all of these great programs that we have in the Build Back Better Act, we ain't voting on the infrastructure bill. Fuck you and fuck your infrastructure bill, Senate. Whereas now Joe Manchin and the senators are saying, well, y'all don't want to vote on the infrastructure bill. We ain't giving you the 50 votes you need. Me and Kirsten ain't giving you the 50 votes you need to pass the Build Back Better Act. And so from the Senate. So because the Build Back Better Act already passes House, but has not passed the Senate. I'm sorry, it hasn't passed House. They haven't even voted on it in the House, because they're still trying to make sure that they got enough votes in the Senate. So we had a quagmire. Neither one of the bills are getting passed. So that's the backstory. That's just the backstory. Just wanted to break that down to you, how we got here. So now you have this fucktard in the form of Joe Manchin, who got up grandstanding and gallivanting all over America's media yesterday, telling us that fuck shit, talking about, oh, well, we need you to sign the infrastructure bill if you want us to sign the Build Back Better Act reconciliation, budget reconciliation. Let's be clear, Joe Manchin. The only people that have coalesced, compromised, and conceded and acquiesced to anything have been the progressives. Joe Manchin ain't backed down off nothing. Joe Manchin has gotten any and everything that he wanted. He walks in the meeting, you need to take that out. They took it out. You need to take this out. They took it out. You need to take that out. They took it out. All of this stuff is getting stripped out of the Build Back Better Act at the behest of Manchin and Sinema, who have lined their pockets with corporate money. But now they don't want to compromise on anything. They don't want to coalesce on anything. All they want to do is get everything they want. So what did they do? They said, oh, well, we ain't voting on nothing. And so once again, Joe Manchin trying to make it seem like the progressives are the problem. No, Joe, the progressives are not the problem. You are the problem. You are the only one that's not giving anything. Progressives are giving everything they could. Progressives have done everything in their power to try to, and I fought the progressives for this. You know who I fought? The head of the Progressive Caucus, the CPC, not to be confused with the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Progressive Caucus is headed by Representative Jayapal from Washington State. Now, let me play for y'all. This is why I'm mad today. I'm not mad. I'm not going to say I'm not mad at Joe Manchin, but as upset and as angry as I am at Joe Manchin, I'm even more angry at the head of the Progressive Caucus, Jayapal. This is what she had to say yesterday after Joe Manchin and his gallivanting and grandstanding. This is what she had to say yesterday. Please don't play an ad. Please don't play an ad. Please. And they're going to play an ad. Damn it. Your feet are so tight. I can't win for losing. Cannot win for losing. Of course, they play an ad. All right, here's her. She was on Andrea Mitchell yesterday.
One of the critical power brokers in all of this, someone who can tell us exactly what's happening. The head of the House Progressive Caucus, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, represents the 7th District of Washington, is the chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being with us today. You endorsed the White House framework last week, you as a group, of course. Are you confident that those 2 senators will be for it? Because they have been less than definitive in what they've said so far publicly.
Yes, Andrea, it's good to see you. And we did endorse the framework. And in fact, we also had a very, very good meeting yesterday of the full CPC after the text was released, which is something that we were asking for the Build Back Better Act. And I'm very happy to say that we are now awaiting negotiations amongst senators on prescription drug pricing and childcare and some details on immigration. But the Progressive Caucus, assuming good resolution of those issues from the Senate side, that we will be excited to vote for both bills. We now feel like we have what we need. We are taking the president's word at the fact that he believes he can get 50 votes in the Senate. And, you know, I hope that the two senators that we've been waiting on these months, who have come to the table in good faith and negotiated, that they understand that this is a leap of faith. But, you know, assuming we get these final negotiations done, we're ready to pass both bills. And I think the caucus feels very good about the fact that we've been able to do what we said from the beginning, which is pass both bills at the same time, get the entirety of the president's agenda to his desk for signature, and ultimately deliver transformative change for people across this country.
But there's a big if there. If you don't get Senate agreement on childcare, immigration, prescription drugs, does that mean that you won't go forward?
Well, I think that we are very, very close, is my understanding. And it isn't just the two senators at this point. You know, you have to get 50 votes in the Senate. So there are different senators who are pushing very hard for different pieces of this bill, including the prescription drug pricing piece. And on childcare, actually, is really not about the overall. It's really about the implementation details. There are some differences between the language and what the Biden framework said. So we are trying to iron out those differences. But my hope is that that will happen very quickly. And as I said, you know, look, I think we're in the very end zone here. We are just about to get this done, and we're feeling very good about both bills.
I don't need to hear no more.
You know,
I'm tired. Listen. Here's my problem. I don't even need to let y'all hear no more. Here's my issue. The issue is this. Representative Jayapal, head of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, who I hope is voted out the next time they have to, you know, have a head of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, is sitting here on a wing and a prayer, on a hope. Well, I hope and I trust that the president said that he can deliver these two senators. The president can't do a goddamn thing with Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. They have his balls in their hands and they squeeze it whenever they want. Joe Manchin just got on screen and said, I ain't budging on nothing. Y'all need to budge. Y'all need to move. Y'all need to backpedal and pussy pop off stuff. I'm not backpedaling and pussy popping off of nothing. Y'all get it together. Y'all let me know when y'all have that worked out. Because if y'all don't have that worked out, I'm not voting on nothing. Get over it, boo. And see what Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema is banking on. They're banking on the fact that these progressives are going to be weak and soft and flinch and going to end up voting. Because remember, I told you, Senate already voted on the infrastructure bill. All they're waiting for is the House to vote on it and send it to the president's desk. They're banking on, but neither House has voted on the Build Back Better Act. So what they're banking on is this. They're banking on the progressives acquiescing, backpedaling, pussy popping, and coalescing to their demands of Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin and voting on the infrastructure bill, sending that to the president's desk. And then when the next day they come, okay, we're ready for you to vote on Build Back Better Act, Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema gonna say, you want us to do what? Oh no, girl, that's not a part of this. That's not what we're gonna do. We need y'all to take off some more. Now we think 1.75 trillion is too much. Now we need you to shave off more money, and then we might come back to the table and vote on that down. That's exactly what's going to happen today. Hey, Watermelon Sugar, coming to the stage. Hey, Watermelon Sugar. I'm like, what are y'all doing? don't understand. I do not understand how you have a head of the Progressive Caucus that came out and said, oh, well, we're just hoping that we're hopeful. See, that's what white people do. I hope everything's well. I hope this goes well. You know us black people, we're here for the whole, I wish you would. I wish you, see, white people hope we wish. I wish you would come over here with this fuck shit. I wish you would try that over. What are y'all doing? Well, here's the thing, Tabitha, even right now, if there was no filibuster, let's say the filibuster was completely off, there wasn't a filibuster, Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema have already proven to us, even without the filibuster, these fucktards ain't trying to go along with anything anyway. So I don't even know that the Senate would have 50 votes even if there wasn't a filibuster. The Dems can't get together on anything because you got terrorists amongst your ranks. You got terrorists. Why are they terrorists? Because they're holding us hostage. They're holding Congress hostage. They're holding the American people hostage with a lot of things that they need to have. And my point is, if there was no filibuster today, and I'm all a part of getting rid of the filibuster, Kirsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, and a couple others who want cover from Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin still wouldn't vote on a whole lot of stuff that the American people want. Because there's some things that should have already been tackled. They should have already killed the filibuster and gotten rid of that. They should have already stacked the Supreme Court. That's a whole nother thing that nobody's harping on and talking about. Joe Manchin, why is it that we're still over here with a hard conservative majority, a super majority in the goddamn Supreme Court? Meaning, I don't care what you try to do, if it gets to the Supreme Court, it ain't happening. It's a possibility Roe v. Wade could be thrown out. And don't think that that's not a real possibility. Do not think that that can't happen, because it can't happen. But y'all over here playing around with these terrorists in your own party. Terrorists. And you got Representative Jayapal who are over here acquiescing to the demands and trying to negotiate with these terrorists out here. That's the whole point of negotiate. You do not negotiate with terrorists. And Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are Democratic terrorists holding us hostage. And so now it's bad enough that they had to strip the Build Back Better Act of all of the great things that they should have had in there, all of the great programs, all of the great legislation that could have really helped the American public. They stripped so much away from that. And it's not good enough that they've already stripped it down to bare bones, barely getting anything that was promised to us when Joe Biden ran, okay? Barely getting anything that he promised us. But now, we're probably not going to even get that. But then y'all going to look for us to vote for y'all come next election. And see, I'm going to tell you, listen, those centrist establishment Democrats are already setting up the table. You know what they're setting up for? They're going to pin this all on the progressives. You hear the language from Joe Manchin. It's the setup. All election cycle and election season, you're going to hear the media talking about how, the Democratic base is much more center than they are left and progressive. They're already setting it up. Hey, Miss Toby. They're already setting up the okie doke where there's going to be this, the progressives are bad. We don't want these leftist people out there. They stopped these things from, you don't have anything that we promised because it was the progressives who wouldn't vote on these things. Leaving out the fact that the progressives were the only one who came to the table really willing to negotiate. Those centrists wanted no parts of negotiation. They came to the table and said, give us all we want or we ain't doing shit for y'all. And progressives the whole time have been saying, okay, we'll give you this. Okay, we give you that. Okay, we'll give you this. And now they're being made to look like they're the bad guys. It's a whole mess. And Representative Jayapal did the progressives no favors yesterday. She and her level brand of fuckery did us no favors, okay? None at all. Also, but I do like that my girl, another member of the squad, Corey Bush, my girl, that's my girl. She's a member of the squad. She came right out. She came right out. And when Joe Manchin came out with his fuck shit and fuckery, Corey Bush said a beautiful black woman, representative out of, I believe she's out of St. Louis, Missouri, came right out and said, here's what she said. Joe Manchin does not get to dictate the future of our country. Okay, come right out and said, I do not trust his assessment of what our communities need the most. I trust the parents in my district who can't get to their shift without childcare. I trust the scientists who have shown us what our future will be what our future will look like if we fail to meaningfully address the climate crisis. I trust the patients and doctors crying out for comprehensive health coverage for every person in America. And so forth. Listen, I'm here for everything that she just said, okay? She came right out and said, and she and some of the black members of the Congressional Black Caucus have come right out and said, y'all always want us to be happy with crumbs. Y'all get everything y'all want. Y'all get steak, lobster, appetizer, a main course, a palate cleaner, a dessert, a salad. Y'all get 5-course meals, and we over here stuck in the corner picking at crumbs that y'all leave for us that fall off the goddamn table, and then you want us to be happy about it. No, no more. Never again. We're not going to keep doing that. And I applaud the black members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. It's so hard to say that. Of the CPC, because those black members of the CPC, many of which are young, many of which are black people that were voted in predominantly black neighborhoods and are here for saying, we're not going to go back to the constituents of our community and go with crumbs and telling them that they should just be happy with crumbs. They have said over and over and over, we're not here for it. Joe Manchin, you and your white privilege and white supremacy can say all of that. We're not going to our communities with that. And Representative Jayapal, it is appalling that she would get up there on television and say, oh, well, I think we're ready to, vote. And I hope that, no, we're not hoping. I trust the president when he said that. I don't trust Joe Manchin to do a goddamn thing at this point, because everything that he's promised us at this point, he has not come through with. It's always a concession. Every single thing that he said, oh, I'm going to give you this, he had to concede and say, well, I promise you this, but I'm going to give you this. I promise you this, but I'm going to give you this. I promise you this, but I'm going to give you this. No, enough is enough. When are you going to put your foot down and say enough is enough? Because that's what Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin are doing. And they're doing that on behalf of corporations, billion and trillion dollar corporations in this country that want nothing to do with anything that's going to take money out of their coffers. You see, they took the part out of the Build Back Better plan that was going to tax the billionaires. You see, they took that out and didn't even blink an eye. This is what y'all got going on. Y'all got me over here. Listen, y'all got me over here, and I'm upset, broke down, busted, and disgusted because these people are playing in our faces. Let me say this now. Mark my words. I said it just a few minutes ago. I'm going to say it again. They are setting it up so that now these progressive members of Congress, many of whom are black, let's be clear, many of whom are young, progressive Black people that are out here about the business of doing better for their community, building Black businesses, getting programs for their community, supporting all parts of our Black community. But the establishment Democrats are going to do what they do, and they're going to put this all on the progressives and say, oh, it was the progressives. They don't want to vote for us, so y'all don't need to vote for them because they're the reason why we ain't getting nothing done. Mind you, they're the only ones. They're the you see, we ain't got no $15 wage. You see, all of the stuff that they've been telling us, they done backpedaled and pussy popped off of. But we're supposed to trust the Joe Bidens of the world, the Joe Manchins, the Chuck Schumers and Nancy Pelosi's of the world, who haven't stood their ground on anything. You can't even stand your ground on the fact that these people tried to overthrow the American government and kill many of you all on January 6th. Y'all fighting the fight to even get that to be seen as something wrong. And you think that they're going to bend to social programs that are actually going to help people? Let me get to my good news of the day. The good news of the day, because I'm not going, they try to take me to the road less travel. I see myself going down the road. I see myself going down this road, y'all. I see it. I see it. Listen, y'all, I'm sorry. But here. Hey, Tracy. Thank you so much, Tracy, for your Cash App. I see you sent me a Cash App. Thank you so much. You have really been supporting the channel, and I greatly appreciate you. Love you, my love. Thank you so much, Tracy, for your Cash App. I just saw it. I'm sorry. So I told y'all that today is election day. We have several elections around the country. We already talked about a question on the ballot in the great city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, that we need to be concerned with. But there are several elections of Black people around the country. We know that we have New York City that's voting for mayor. We have the Democrat in the form of Eric Adams. Now, I'm going to be honest, Eric Adams is one of those establishment Democrats, but he's running against a Republican in Curtis Sliwa, whatever his name is, who is Donald Trump light, okay? Who's his own version of Donald Trump in the great city of New York. And that is happening. So y'all go out there and vote. Like I said, we have Eric Adams, Black man, former police officer, former state senator, and all of those things that he is. So that's going on in the city of New York. In Virginia, you know, we have that big governor's race with Terry McAuliffe and Glenn Youngkin. The same Glenn Youngkin that is out there trying to whitewash American history, that is calling American history critical race theory. Because let's be clear, they don't teach critical race theory in K through 12 education. The same Glenn Youngkin that's out here telling people that the Pulitzer Prize winning novel Beloved by Toni Morrison is some horrible piece of literature that gives kids nightmares and all kinds of stupidity because it tells the story of racism. You want to talk about nightmares? What do you think Black children felt when their parents were getting lynched? Let me go down this road. Give me a moment. You want to tell me about the feelings of fucking little white kids because they feel, oh my God, I feel guilt. I'm having nightmares because I'm having to read about slavery. Oh my God, my children. What about the children? Let's talk about Black children and babies who had to watch their parents during this time get brutalized, get murdered, get slaughtered, and they had to sit there and watch their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers scream in agony as they were being, having to live through some of the worst atrocities that a human being can live through. And they had to sit there and watch it. They had to go through their own brutality and being brutalized and their own just horrific atrocities that they had to endure. Okay? You want to know what those nightmares were? You want to talk about nightmares? Let's talk about those nightmares. Those are the kids that I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about little Tom over here and little Ken over here that had to read a story for your AP English class that you never fully read and admitted you never fully read it, but all of a sudden you're having nightmares. Don't tell me about nightmares. Don't tell me about little white kids and their guilt, because I'm going to tell you about little black kids that every day are afraid to walk their own streets to go to school because you don't know if a police officer is going to roll up on you and blow you off the earth. I'm going to talk about black kids that have to endure watching their loved ones die over and over and over in historic lynchings and modern day lynchings. So don't tell me about your little white kids. Don't tell me a goddamn thing. I'm sorry, y'all. Where's my candy? I'm over here spiking out, y'all. I'm trying. Y'all got me over here spiking out. Spiking out because this is my snack of the day. Because y'all over here with this fuck shit. Oh, this is the same Glenn Youngkin that fully embraces Donald Trump. I'm sure fully embraces everything that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. Fully embraces the fact that Virginia was the capital of the Confederacy. He's here for all parts of that. Let's be clear. Hell out of here. Sorry. I'm Spike. I'm supposed to be reporting on elections today that we're concerned with, and I'm having a whole ass sugar spike. Hold on, y'all. I'm spiking. I still have not calmed down for my spike because give me a moment. Give me a moment. Because I'm spiking out here. Dear God, let me have another. Dear God, spiking out here. Lord. Mm. Having the whole sugar spike. It's a sugar. Help me. Help me, please. Please. All right. I might get finished now. Ooh, I had to regulate. Ooh, had to regulate my sugar levels today. I think it's the tie. It's the tie and the blazer today. You know, have the old sugar spikes. All right. Oh Jesus. Also, in the great state of not Louisiana, in the same state of Virginia, we also have for lieutenant governor, we have a black woman in the form of Hala Ayala. I think it's Hala or Hala Ayala. Hey, Boogie L. And she's she's a Democrat, and she's running against Afro Latina Winsome Sears. Okay. So two black women, one African American, one Afro Latina. They are both running against each other for lieutenant governor. So either way, you're going to have a black woman be an Afro Latina. And I hate that they try to make it like Afro Latina, the Afro Latinx community, be it Afro Latino or Afro Latina, is not black. They are black. They are part of the African diaspora. It's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But both of them, the Dem being Hala Ayala, and the Republican being Winsome Sears, they are running for lieutenant governor. We have in the state of New Jersey, but this I'm not really worried. You got Phil Murphy, the Democrat, who's running against Jack Ciattarelli. I'm not really worried about that. I know the oh I got that wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Hala Ayala is the Afro Latina. The Democrat is the Afro Latina. Thank you. I got that mixed up. Vovo. See, I'm glad I got somebody in the area. See, also if you got stuff going, elections going on in your area that we need to be concerned about, be it because it's black people there, or be it because we just need to be concerned about it, put it in the chat right now so I can highlight that and bring it to our attention as we are on this segment where we're talking about elections today. Thank you so much for clearing that up. Let me put that up for the people to see, since Bobo told us about that. Here's some other ones. We know we have in Atlanta the mayoral. They voting for mayor in Atlanta. The front runners are Felicia Moore and Kasim Reed. I believe they're the two front runners. Tabitha, let me know if I'm wrong about that, but I think Felicia Moore and Kasim Reed are the two of the front runners for that mayoral race in Atlanta. In Columbia, South Carolina, we have Tamika Devine, a black woman who's running for uh mayor in Columbia, South Carolina. Also today in a mayoral race that we highlighted and spotlighted here, that we are truly concerned about is, and this is two black people. We have India Walton, and this is a primary, I believe it is. No, I'm not. Is it a primary? No, I think it's the mayor's race. It's Byron Brown versus India Walton. We talked about India Walton in Buffalo, New York. And we talked about what the Dems were doing to her. And so we are going to be looking very closely at that. Tabitha said they are the two front runners. She ain't voting for no Kasim Reed. Yes. Child, not tighter than a fish's pussy, child. In New Jersey, we have for Jersey City, New Jersey, we have Lewis Spears who's running. In Cleveland, Ohio, we have Justin Bibb, a black man who's running. In Cincinnati, Ohio, we have David Mann who's running. Not to be confused with David Mann married to Tamala Mann. Okay. Oh man. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, we have Wanda Williams, who is running in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. In St. Paul, Minnesota, we have Melvin Carter, Mickey Frost, and Dora Jones Robinson, all of whom are black and running for mayor. That is in St. Paul, Minnesota. These are all mayoral races around the country, okay? In Durham, North Carolina, we have Elaine O'Neill, who's running for mayor there. Even in, and I'm looking at this article, even in the city of Helena, Montana, we have, which is a very small, has a very small black population of 1%. And it's a small city. We have they have a black mayor in the form of Wilmot Collins, who is up for re-election there. So we have several races that not not Mr. Brown, though. He's not running. So we have several races, and those are races around the country. If you have a race in your respective area, meaning your municipality or your county, state, city, state, county, parish, all of that stuff in your area. Another primary that we have going on, and you'll be you'll know all about this, Tabitha. Earlier this year, we had Representative Alcee Hastings, my frat brother, a fellow member of Kappa Alpha Psi, who passed away, and his seat is Democratic seat. It goes through Broward County, largely Broward County seat in South Florida, all of the black neighborhoods and so forth. And Alcee Hastings has had that seat since God was a child. Anyway, but he passed earlier this year in April, and that seat is up for grabs. And so they're having a primary. The election for that seat is going to be in January of 2022, but they have a primary today in that area to whittle it down to who's going to get that seat in the regular election. We know they're not going to run a Republican against. They probably on a paper will run a Republican against whoever the Democratic person is, but they know they don't have an ice cube's chance in hell of winning it. So, and there are several people running for that seat there. Several. In Cleveland, Ohio. Remember we talked about Nina Turner and how she lost her primary to Chantel Brown. Well, they're having the regular general election for that seat that Marcia Fudge had to resign from when she took over the over Hood Department of Human Housing and Urban Development. So we have the Democrat Chantel Brown versus the Republican Laverne Gore in that seat. And I'm sure there are other ones that I am forgetting or am not privy to. I just may not know. If, like I said, if you know of ones in your area, you can put that in the chat now. But we'll be watching these things to see how this fares out. I will be watching my boy in his khaki pants and white shirt today, looking like a frat dude back in college. Where we have Steve Kornacki at the big board on MSNBC tonight. But like I said, I'm really curious about that question too in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have calmed down. I have regulated my sugar levels, y'all. I was spiking a bit earlier. I apologize. Whew, I had a whole spike. Oh God, I had a couple spikes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I got real passionate as an English teacher when you tell me that you're trying to remove great pieces of literature. I spike out. Anyway, anybody else got anything for me before we get out of here? It's about time for me to get on out of here. I'm sorry, y'all. I had a whole spike out today. A whole spike out today. Anything y'all need me to read, discuss, or talk about before I get out of here? I've been over here on here more than 2 hours now. Thought it was a great politics of it all today. Um, as I always say before I get out of here, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. Tabitha, you said Spike Out was warranted. Thank you, Born Earth, so much. Y'all know we try to come over here and give people, and it's not just giving people, because some people try to give you stuff, surface level stuff. We really try to dig deep and break some stuff down for you all that sometimes in the mainstream media, they one don't break down, and two won't break it down to a point where we as Black people really know how it impacts us. And sometimes we need to know and be clear on how this stuff impacts us and so forth. Go back and watch the replay if you need to, if you missed parts of it, because there were some very important parts of this that we needed, that we had to concern ourselves with. Even our first story, which was the whole Let's Go Brandon, because people didn't even know what the Let's Go Brandon was, and we had to break that down on how we got there. All right. So go vote today. If today is election day for you, please go out and vote. I don't care if it is a primary. there may be other referendums and questions on your ballot, as you can see from what we saw in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that you need to be concerned with and aware of, so that we can do right by our communities. All right. I'm always glad to bring this stuff to you all's attention and bring you all, the politics of it all as it relates to us here in the Black diaspora. I think that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Once again, thank you, Tracy, for your cash out that you sent to support the channel. I'm gonna go buy some more snacks so I don't spike out anymore with what she sent me. Right, primaries are so important, so much more important than what we think they are. They are essential to really getting a candidate in there who is about your best interest, even if it is on your side. Because as we can see, even within our own, on the side that we lean toward, there are a whole lot of varying viewpoints and vantage points there. So please go out and vote. Until next time, y'all go follow all of the people in the chat that came through. I know Really B came through. I know Every Reviews came through. I know Chocolate Bay came through. Tabitha came through. There are a lot of YouTubers and fellow social media influencers that came through the chat. Y'all go follow them and so forth. Give them a watch and a subscribe and hit the notification bell for them. We don't say that around these parts. I don't promote my channel at all. You come, you come. You don't. Shondo's around the building. Shondo's in and out of the chat. Thank you to my mods. You know who you are. Thank you to my members. You know who you are. Until next time, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We out.